Hello, everybody. Welcome to Erndale's. It's so good to be back this week. I am going to say a huge welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for joining. And of course, a very heartfelt hello to all my regular subscribers. And another thing I want to mention is I am so thankful for all the wonderful comments that you have been sending my way. You have no idea how much you have helped me get through some really difficult weeks. Um, I, I've just enjoyed everything that you've said to me, the encouragement. You know, some of you have had the same shoulder condition as I have, and you've given me little tips and hints. And so thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It has meant so much to me. While I'm talking about the shoulder, I went to the doctor yesterday and I do have frozen shoulder, which I kind of had already suspected, as well as I have a really bad case of lymphedema going on right now, which is not anything new to me. I've had that for 18 years since I had my mastectomy. But the two combined is making it really difficult. But this week I have been a lot more productive than I have before. I'm going to be going for physio for the shoulder. She feels that with the two together that is needed. And she did give me some medication that I can actually, it's not a sleeping pill, but it's not a pain pill and it's not a sleeping pill, but it really has helped me stay asleep. I was running on about 3 hours sleep a night for the last 6 weeks, and it was really dragging me down a lot. But this week, I have slept, well, for the last 4 nights, I've slept all through the night. So I feel better, and that's done a major improvement in me, just to be able to actually have a good sleep and feel good when I wake up. So I can deal with the pain. I just can't deal with not sleeping. I really need my sleep. So it's been a much more productive week, and I will show you what I've been up to. You might be able to see a little bit of it up there, but I will show you in more detail. As well, I have to tell you that I'm recording this today. It's Saturday. We are supposed to be getting a blizzard, a 3-day blizzard, starting sometime today and running all the way through to Monday. Let's hope this is the last boo-ha of this snow for the winter. We have a saying here in Canada. I think it's, I don't know, maybe other people have the same saying, but we have a saying here for March. If it comes in like a lamb, it goes out like a lion. Or if it comes in like a lion, it goes out like a lamb. So obviously March is coming in like a lion. And hopefully it'll go out like a lamb. No guarantees here. We've had big snowstorms in April too. But we are predicted in this area where we are predicted to get 40 centimeters or more of snow, which is well over a foot. And that's just snowfall. If we have a blizzard along with it, which they are saying we will, it'll really pack up and go up. So fingers crossed that it decides to turn and go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're prepared. The only thing that we worry about is the loss of power, because if the trees are blowing over onto the power lines or that there's ice involved, we can lose power. But well, let's hope that's not going to happen. I'm thinking not. But we have lots of food in the house, and if we don't lose the power, we're nice and warm. We have lots of blankets and warm clothes, and I've got lots of projects. So bring it on. I will go out in it and video it for you. Maybe I'll add that to the next video. I know a lot of you don't live in a climate like ours, and maybe you don't know what a real blizzard is like. So maybe I could share that with you. Wouldn't that be just lovely? Okay, so I have been a little bit more, well, actually I've been a lot more productive this week. I'll show you in a minute what I've been up to. But I have also, I mentioned it a little bit in another clip. I started knitting again, a little bit, and I'll show you what I knit. But, oh my gosh, it's like the best thing for me. I love to knit, and I hadn't knit actually since before Christmas. And when I picked up the needles, it was just like coming home. It was wonderful. And so I'm in the middle of a little project. I'm not doing anything big and strenuous, and I'm stopping when I feel maybe tension in my shoulder, even before it starts to hurt. If I feel it coming up into my neck, I stop. But I did something. It's getting very difficult here to find yarn shops now. They're all just disappearing. Everything's going online. And there's a lot of indie dyers and that, but I don't know where they are, and I don't feel like I don't spend a lot of time on my computer searching for stuff like this. But I have clued into a couple of Canadian places, and one is called Lichen and Lace. And so I went on there, and they have beautiful yarns of all weights, and they dye their own. And so they have a thing called the sock train, and it's like a subscription type of thing. If you join the sock train, every month you get 100-gram ball or 100-gram hank of sock yarn. So I've subscribed to that. Not that I don't have any sock yarn, but I have little balls. I have 50-gram balls, and you need 2 for a pair of socks. So when I got looking at my sock yarn, I realized that I maybe have enough yarn for 3 pairs of socks. The rest is all just leftover stuff, which I could still make socks from that, but that's really not what I want to do. So I subscribe to this, and I'm going to maybe do it for 6 months just to kind of get some nice yarns that I can work with, because I always knit socks all year long. I've always got socks on the needle, and those are a lot of the things that I give away to my friends and family as gifts. So, you know, I don't wait until Christmas to start sewing or knitting socks. I do it all year through. So this will be really nice. I'm very anxious to get my very first delivery, which shall be like next week, I think. They said that they send it out at the beginning of the month. So I'm excited to have some new yarn. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've been up to, and then I'm going to come back because we have a draw to do, don't we? And I have to figure out how to do that. So while I'm figuring that out, you watch this next little bit, and we'll talk in a minute. So I am starting to work on putting my yearly calendar, daily stitch, whatever you want to call it, my slow stitch calendar for 2023, let's call it that, together. And I am so upset with myself. Look what I did right off the bat. I sliced it right here. Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. I'm so mad at myself for doing that, but I'm gonna hide that somehow. Look what I did. See, I had to sew it back on. I actually took out this blue stitching, so I'm going to stitch that back on top too. I'm sure I can hide it, but it really upset me that I did that. So I've cut and I've left an inch around. I've trimmed off all that excess there. So this is January, February, and March. You want to have a quick look at these? You saw, no, you didn't see January, you saw February. So let's look at January. So started the year 01/01/23, just some stitching. We went on a road trip here, and this was supposed to be the road, and we live near a small set of mountains, so that was the mountains, and there was snow, so it's white. And then stitching, 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 some more stitching. The 8th of January was, I don't remember what it was. Oh, I guess it was just the 8th, and so I went around it like that. Stitching, stitching, stitching. January 12th was my parents' wedding anniversary. They were married January 12th, 1942. January 13th was the day my dad passed away, and he loved birds, so I did a bird for him. And then just all different kinds of stitching. I did some fancy little stitches here. I love these rings. They were fun to do. And this was my brother Dean's 64th birthday, so I made him a cake and did some more stitching. This is supposed to be like a little quilt or something. And this obviously was hopeful, thinking of spring, because there's no flowers in January, but that's okay. I got the traveling spindle, Turkish spindle on this day, and so I made a little Turkish spindle. And then more stitching, more stitching. This was a windy day, and I actually repeated this wiggly line throughout the whole year when we had wind, and I'll show that to you coming up. These are all French knots. Oh, that was so much fun. And stitching, stitching, and here I was so happy that January was over. So that's January. February I showed you before, but I'll do it one more time. So I'll just move it on top of January here so you can see the lights better here. So February, just some flowers with hearts, stitching, stitching. This was my Aunt Margaret's birthday. She was a quilter, and these are her favorite colors. So I made this for my aunt. She's passed a few years ago. Was like a mother to me. It's just different stitching. This was a day that I spent the day playing the piano because I just wanted to. And here was, what is this? I don't know. Oh, something's come through. I have to poke that through. Day I was having tea, I guess. More stitching. I was loving my home, home sweet home, and then I made a little house. And of course, this was Valentine's Day, the 14th. I made a love, and I put a lot of love throughout this. Palms, because Lent was coming up. Here is this piece, this day had this shape to it, so I just made the L for an OVE, love. And then there was love you. And then Lent began on this day, so I made a note of that, and I put a little purple cross on every day of Lent because that's important to me. And then the 28th February ends. I have to do that. And I did, remember when I showed you last time, these lines weren't here, so this tells you that it was February. March was a good month to stitch for some reason. So this was March. I did green for St. Patty's Day, and I did balloons. I don't know why, and I did balloons, and I ran the thing all the way down to here. And I was thinking, oh, I should do things. No, I didn't do that yet. So I did balloons, and then I did some stitching, and I think this was in reference, things are looking up. I think that was in reference to the weather and the coming of spring. So I decided right after I did this that I would donate this whole month to looking up. So I did the stages of the moon. These 4 stages of the moon. The moon is up. Birds fly up. So I did a little bird. This was the day that we had put our dog Molly down several years ago, but I was thinking of her. A plane goes up, and then we set our clocks back here. No, we didn't. We set our clocks forward, so put the clock there. Stage of the moon. This was my nephew Blair's 55th birthday, so he got a cake. And this was St. Patrick's Day. Spring, first day of spring. Flowers go up. And you see this was wind. All of this was wind. And it's kind of interesting how it just kind of was through this whole period of March was very windy. Balloons, hot air balloons, which I absolutely love, go up. This was the day my mom passed away, the 27th, so my heart was broken. Still snow, still cold, no spring, and no spring to behold. So that was just how I ended it. And this went all the way through here, right to the very end. What I started, this balloon there, the string of it went all the way through. So that's the first 3 months. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to sew them on the machine together. I've taken quite a bit off and I've left 1 inch, but I think I'm going to sew, I'm probably going to sew in like a 1/2 inch so that I have 1 inch between them here. And then I am going to try, like I said in a couple videos back, I'm going to put a piece of my dyed or my rust dyed fabric on here. And I'm not going to put the same color with every one. I'm going to just pin it first as I go. I'm going to sew these all together first, but then I'm going to fool around with the rust dyeing pieces and see what I want. So next step is to sew these 3 together. Wish me luck that I don't cut anything off like I did this one, and I have to stitch this light blue back on here. Oh, I'm so upset with myself that I did that, but it'll be fine. And it was the very first thing I did too. I can't oh well, this is how it goes, right? We make mistakes and we fix our mistakes. So I'm going to go and sew these together, and I'll come back when I'm auditioning the strips on top so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, I've got them together. Yeah, I've got, it's not even a full inch in between. They went together fairly well. I must admit that they are not exactly straight anymore. I guess with the stitching, you know, that kind of changes your, it pulls your fabric a little bit. So they're not 100% square to each other, but it is going to be very busy anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that. And you know, in a kind of a crazy sense, I actually like just this. I'm really thinking now that I'm not going to put anything in between here. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a running stitch right down the middle, or maybe I'll just leave it. I'm going to keep sewing them together, and this is the thing. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, really, with this. I have so many ideas of what I might do, but I really don't know what I'm going to do. So for now, I'm just going to sew them together and see what it looks like. I actually kind of like it just like this. I think in a way, and this was sort of my very first thought on this, that anything that I do in between is going to take away from this. And I don't want anything to take away from this, because this is where my year's work is. So I'm going to do the next 3 months and put them with this one, and then I'll see. I don't have a work board, you know, on the wall kind of thing where I can hang things up, and that's really unfortunate because I could really use something like that now. But I don't have, obviously I don't have tall enough walls to do that because I have a peak roof here. Okay, I'm going to do the next 3. I'm going to do April, May, and June, and I will show those to you after I get them cut, before I sew them all together. All right, so this is January, February, March together. Whew, this is kind of nerve-wracking. Okay, I'm going to take you through the next 3 months. This is April. Practicing a leaf. You know what these are. Windy Day. This was Good Friday. And I just practiced some more stitches. This was Easter Day, Easter Sunday. And some more stitches, and some more stitches, another windy day, and another windy day. More stitches, more stitches. This is the first day that was a beautiful day, and I got the tools out and I was digging in my garden. The next day it snowed. Actually, the next 3 days it snowed, and this day was the day that the robins came back. Very important date for me. And then the sun came out after the 3 days of snow. Sun came out. This was my nephew Lee's birthday. And then more stitching, and my other nephew Scott, one of my other nephews, Scott, his birthday. And then we went to Winnipeg on this day. And it was raining on this day, and another windy day. And this was the day we came home from Winnipeg. And before we came home, we met this Lee's newest baby, Fritz. So yeah, for the first time, he was just a few months old. Yeah, so that is April. And here we have the month of May. This is a nice colorful one. Okay, so May, I don't know what this was. I was sticking my tongue out at somebody. So some different stitches. I was working on wrapped straight stitches. I made some tulips. This is my brother-in-law Jerry's 80th birthday. And then some stitching. More stitching. This is supposed to be a daisy, I believe. Maybe an echinacea. Although they wouldn't have been out yet. Some more stitching. Some trees. And this is where some of the fires started in Manitoba. We had fires here. There was fires absolutely everywhere. I did this lovely little owl. He was so fun to do. More stitching. And like I explained before, on days when I couldn't think of what I wanted to do, or if there was nothing that I really wanted to do, I just stitched. And I actually like that because it puts a lot of color into it. So more stitching, more stitching. This is our son John turned 35 on the 18th of May. More fire and wind. This was the day I planted my vegetable garden on the 22nd. Stitching, some more stitching, some more stitching, more wind, more stitching. And because I was starting to spend a lot of time in the garden every day in the garden, which I do in the month of actually April, if it's nice, and May, you'll find me in the garden. It made me think of the hymn in the garden. So I started to do the words. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. And then I just planted a little garden here. So that's the month of May. And now we are into June. So stitching, I started an online stitching camp, which I completed one project, but I didn't have time. It was gardening and this that was taking up all my time. So I did do one project, but that was it. And then I started a quilt, but as I've said before, I'm not really a quilter. So a lot of my started quilts sort of look like this. They're not finished. And I left this one unfinished on purpose. So some more of the song, He Speaks, and the sound of his voice. Stitching, wind. This was supposed to be a log cabin. You can sort of see. And he speaks, the sound of his voice is so sweet. The birds hear their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing. These are words from that song, The Garden. And the date was my girlfriend Denise's birthday. And I just did a butterfly, stitching, some more flowers. This is wind. All of this is wind. As you can see, we had a lot of wind. I didn't know if I was coming or going. That happens to me quite a bit. My husband Gary's birthday on the 24th of June. And that sort of, those two go together because he's my heart. And this was wind, but these were tornadoes, these ones here. So we had tornado sightings all around us and here. And this was, in June, you get out your clothesline. Oh, yes, I did. You hang your clothes on the line. So this is hanging clothes on the line. And this is, I don't know. And I actually had drawn something on here until I realized that June only has 30 days. So that's finished. So these are the next 3 months. I'm going to put them together and then I'm going to add them to the first 3. And then I will have half a year sewed together. And I might just stop there for now and look at it for a while. Well, there is the first 6 months. I kind of got a little choked up when I saw them all together like this. I'm actually a little speechless. That's a lot of stitches. So I am going to leave this at this stage. I'll put the other ones together too, but I'm just going to ponder a little while before I add the other ones to this. So this will be a part 1 and a part 2. This will be part 1, and I'll do the other 6 in a part 2. Because before I add any more to this, I sort of want to think what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with myself. It looks pretty cool, I must admit. I hope some of you try this. I mean, it's too late to start it this year unless you want to do a lot of back stitching, but this was, now when I see it even this far, I think, wow, what a great project. Totally great project. I hope you like this. As you can see, I have been busy. It has been a much more productive week than last week, I'm happy to say. Nothing has changed, but I'm just continuing on doing my thing. So look at all these bookmarks that I've done. Here's one. This is my favorite one. It's very old looking, is it not? Show you up close. Now, I kind of cheated. I had done some blanket stitch around these, and I just didn't like how it turned out. So then I thought I would wrap and do like edging on. I didn't like that either. It just didn't fit with this kind of scrappy idea. So in the end, I went and pulled out this old linen tablecloth that I had dyed with the rust, and I just stitched it on with the sewing machine, and I left the edges raw, and I really like that. I think it looks way better. It's just more appropriate for the kind of piece that this is. And as it's used, I think that these will even get a little more edgy, you know, like they'll fan out some more and even look a little bit more scrappy, which is what I want. But this is lovely. I love this one. This is my favorite of all of them. So let's do some close-ups here. This is the one for my son, and it's curling because I'm going to press them all down, but this one's for my son. And here's a blue one. Maybe I should just lay them down. Hold on. Look at them like this. So here they are. There's a blue one, and that's the one for my son, the black one with the writing on it. And another blue one. And this one is my favorite one. I love this one. I think I'm going to keep this one for myself, although I've got some more of this. I could make another one, but I really do love this one. This is so me. And then a little pink one with some ruffles. This I took off of some old doll clothes that were ripped. This was the sleeve of it. And then this one. So I've got 6 completed, and I've got another 6 cut out because I'm just going to make them and have them on hand here. If, you know, just if I fancy giving somebody a bookmark, I'll give somebody a bookmark. I just think they're really nice, and they're going to really be a nice gift for Easter. I think the people that I'm going to give them to are going to really appreciate them. So those are the bookmarks, and I'm going to put one in with the pouch. And then I finished one sock. This was the yarn that my cousin gave me. She was trying to learn to knit, and she just gave up. She just couldn't do it. So she sent me her yarn and her needles and stuff, and I made this one sock. I have the other one on the needles. And I have to tell you, it was really wonderful to knit again. It took me about a week to do this because I did it really slow because of the arm thing. And but it was so relaxing, and I missed this knitting so much. So I'm going to just keep on knitting a little bit at a time, and I'm going to tell you what I did. But first, let's look at this. I was in a little secondhand shop, and I saw this for $3. It's quite large. I am so happy with this purchase. I have a small one that was mine when I was a child. Hold on, I'll go get it. This one is mine that I had. I think I got this when I was maybe 7 years old. I usually keep my Tangle in it. My Tangle's downstairs right now. But mine has a handle. This one doesn't have a handle, and I really can't see anywhere where there might have been a handle. Although I'm pretty sure, well, maybe not, who knows. But this one is quite a bit larger. But look inside. It's just so pretty, and it's such beautiful shape. Look at it inside. It's red, and whomever this used to belong to obviously made this heart pin cushion, and it's still in here, and that is what really tugs at my heart. I'm so honored to have this. There's a couple of little pins. They look like little religious, I would say maybe little things from a rosary. This one is actually a pin. See, it's got a little, trying to get the camera to focus properly on it. But this one is a little finding from a rosary, I think. But I am so happy with this. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put in here. I think what I'm going to put in here is some antique laces and things like that. I think I'm going to make this my little lace container. So now I have two. Aren't I lucky? For $3. Can you believe it? $3. It's in beautiful shape. Absolutely gorgeous. So, lucky me. I hope you enjoyed all that. So, I've been approached by a local, actually it's Manitoba art group. It's Manitoba Art Council or something like that. I can't remember what their name is, but they want me to enter into their upcoming art show. It's a juried art show, actually. And I entered into it. They do this every year. And when the pandemic was on, I entered 2 pieces of my fiber art. I entered the horse Lily, which if I can find a picture, I'll put it here, but I don't think I have one of her. I'll look. And one of my cows. And I won first prize for Lily, and I won an honorable mention for the cow. So they want me to, they have invited me to submit again this year. So I think I'm going to work on Molly and finish Molly and do it, because the other ones were not done with blue jeans. They were with just random pieces of colorful fabric. So the blue jean thing would be new to them, but I think I'm going to work on Molly and get her ready for that. I have to have her ready by April 1st. So this week, my plan is to work on Molly and get her closer to completion. There's still a lot of work to do on her. And I'm going to leave this until I get this done, because, this is just for me. I want to get this one done. And I actually have 2 pieces that I have been asked to do as a consignment. So I need to get on to those too, because the little place that asked me for these is now open, and they are wanting them. So I'm going to be busy doing more fabric collage kind of work and arty kind of things this week, as well as I'm going to knit that other sock for my cousin and get that in the mail. Okay, here's what you've been waiting for. I have made the draw. I used the YouTube comment picker, and I had to do it on the computer. The winner is Cheryl Brightman 4655. Congratulations, Cheryl. If you could contact me and send me your mailing address, I'll get this in the mail, the pouch, and I have a gone. A pouch and a bookmark for you. So you can reach me. I have all the information below. You can reach me through Instagram, or I have a Facebook um, page. You can email me through there, or my email address. All will be in the description below this video. So let me know where you are, and I will get your prize into the mail. Congratulations. And I guess that's a wrap. So thank you for joining me. This is a little bit longer video than I usually do, but oh well. And I will see you next week with something different. Maybe blizzard. Who knows? Stay warm, everybody. Thank you for coming along today. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.